Jeremiah 15 verse 6, coming from the King James Version of the Hebrew Bible, from the Tanakh, the writings of the prophets. And this is what it reads: "For my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds led them astray and caused them to roar on mountains and valleys and hills. They have forgotten their resting place." It is a known fact that African American lineage can be traced back to the seed of Abraham from the tribe of Judah, and that heritage can be found in the Torah, which are the 5 books of Moses, the Tanakh, the writings of the prophets. We are the modern-day lost sheep that's scattered among the nations today, fulfilling Bible prophecy. And the second coming of Christ is only talking to African Americans, according to Matthew 15 and verse 24. "And he answered and said, For I have not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." It would be our ancestors that was on the scene during the days of Christ. They were the ones who witnessed his death, burial, and resurrection, as well as the gospel that he was proclaiming throughout Galilee. And it was the elders' responsibility to shepherd. They had a responsibility to shepherd his people, but they were known as the lost sheep, and it was the elders' fault because they started oppressing his people whenever his people would break the commandments that he gave to Moses. They were looked down on, they were despised, and they were outcast. So many of them started leaving Jerusalem, and they went wandering over mountains, valleys, and hills. They were known as the lost sheep. They were just scattered everywhere. And when Christ came on the scene, he was just looking for his people. Many of them were residing at Judea. That's where a lot of the Jews lived. Then you had Galilee. That's where Christ started his ministry. He went from village to village, town to town, looking for the lost sheep. Then you had Jerusalem. That's where the Jews resided at. The shepherds put heavy burdens on his people. So when Christ came, he went to the despised, the outcast, the brokenhearted, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The shepherds did not take care of his people. So he condemned his people, but he said to his disciples, "Beware of the Pharisees and scribes. Listen to them, do everything they tell you, because they sit in the seat of Moses, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach." Matthew 23, verse 2. Same thing that happened then is happening now. And now we have the elders of Israel, the modern day elders that's no longer in the land of Canaan. We were chased out of that land in 70 AD by the Roman Empire. So we have our modern day elders repeating the same thing the Pharisees and scribes did. Many of them understand the Torah as well as the Tanakh very well, and they know how to manipulate scriptures and use it on their own people if they don't yield to what they're saying. And to me, that's a form of witchcraft, because when you try to intimidate and dominate and manipulate your own people, that's a sign of rebelliousness and witchcraft. So you have to be very careful when you listen to a lot of these Israelite camps that are online talking about Hebrew doctrine and letting African Americans know where we can be traced back to. I don't have an issue with that at all. The only issue that I have is that Nathaniel does not believe in baptism. And Christ commanded his disciples to go back to the regions, not to the world, but to the regions, to baptize his people. Although we're no longer in the land of Canaan, we still supposed to follow that commandment. So that's a sign to look for when you view and observe and watch his teaching. He also flashes a lot of hand signals. That's how the Illuminati communicate, with their hand signals. So those are signs to look for, so you can know who he's really serving. You will know them by their fruit. Shalom, Israel.